And high-frequency trading is almost just done with computer
Oh, yeah.
algorithms.
When I was in trading, it was the start of artificial intelligence, and the traders around me were like, oh, yeah, it's over. Once Goldman Sachs gets their supercomputers together, most of these companies, when they trade, it's just a little detail some will find interesting, the amount of time they're in a trade is pretty much seconds, because they're fronting other orders, because that's what these companies can do. In other words, they're trading tiny little spreads of pennies, but with heavy amounts of shares in front of other orders. And then they use computers to do this. And then they can generate literally millions of dollars off of fractions of time spent in and out of the market on a giant microprocessing level. Anyone that thinks today, especially, that Wall Street isn't rigged needs to wake up, because there's no way artificial intelligence isn't dominating. It's pretty much all the big investment banks with their artificial intelligence versus other people's artificial intelligence at this point. There's no rhyme or reason to it when it comes to human perception. So in effect, you have this giant money-making machine that the public has been roped into, such as their retirement, and all the things, the IRAs that for some reason are now connected to the market. The market is inflationary driven, which gives it its artificial sense of progress, meaning the more money that we pump into our society, the more it goes into the market, the more it keeps rising. So yeah, if you put in your retirement into the stock market, it will probably rise. It'll crash periodically, and then people will make a fortune off of that too. So anyway, the whole society has been coerced into this nonsensical participation that effectively holds up the most giant and powerful political subclass, the financial sector. And if anyone wanted to see another level of sanity emerge on this planet in a step-by-step process rather than complete structural change, I suggest the abolishment of Wall Street. There's nothing positive about what this institution does. And those that say that it's there to help investment, you can invest in anything with direct money without the need to go IPO. The $700 billion float of Apple has nothing to do with what it actually produces at all. Mm-hmm. It's just what the people are trading and buying and moving the stock around. It's just the game. And it's too bad that people are so ignorant about that. It's a siphoning machine that is taking basically money from the lower class and bringing it to the upper class through different mechanisms.
And a lot of people who are middle class, lower class, don't invest in Wall Street because it's just completely too abstract for them. But everyone participates in debt-based currency and the way that the currency operates. How does it make sense that there is more debt than there is currency?
Good question. Mainly because of the interest that's charged. Because in capitalism, every product has to have something that makes money, that makes a profit. And then when the sale of money, which is what banks do, they create and sell money effectively. When they lower and raise interest rates, they're changing the price of what it's going to cost you to get money and a loan. And then they produce interest, obviously, and that interest doesn't exist in the money supply. So you have today about 200 trillion in debt in the world and about 80 trillion in currency. So what does that mean? It means that those that are holding the bag in the lower class are the ones that get screwed when you have economic declines. There are always going to be bankruptcies and things like that that happen in a kind of classism, the structural classism that I call it, that effectively hurts the lower class. And the fact that people don't see that either. I mean, debt goes back 5,000 years. It has been in lockstep of something else that we're familiar with called slavery. So debt, peonage, slavery, convict leasing. Even today in certain areas of Asia, they have debt that's passed through generations, from farmer to child, and that child has to continue working off its father's debt in effectively a kind of post-neo-feudalism. So this phenomenon is there, and it's unfortunate that more people don't see the actual intrinsic problem of debt. And the solution to that, you can argue that you could get rid of a debt-based currency and so on, and I've had many conversations with people about that, but the question is, why hasn't it happened? Because it's intrinsic to the function of capitalism. And it's not even that they act insidiously, it's just what their job is. Their job is to make money out of nothing, sell it to people, and then when the people can't pay it, they take their property. And that property goes, it's just another funneling system. And here's another thing I'll mention. All the money that's made in the world comes from the lower class taking loans. So right now, less than 63% of Americans have $1,000 in savings. Yet the lower class, that same subclass, is what takes on all the major loans, home loans, car loans. That money comes in, the people buy all this stuff, and then that money that's spent goes basically right back up to the upper class again, because as we know through the growth of the past 10 years, all of the major income has gone to the upper 5 to 10%. So it's even worse now. So you see my point? So the people take on all the loans of the entire collective money in society, and then that money is extracted through them through various forms of structural classism and goes right back up to the upper 1%. People should be enraged by that. But they don't see it because it's a structural phenomenon. It's something that's happening under the surface that isn't readily apparent. And that's why, due to ignorance, no one really reacts on it.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family. It's a very imperative time we get back to learning finances and understanding how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we don't fall for the same tricks. Now, guys, we're going to go over, of course, Bitcoin first, and then, of course, the stock market is booming. So really quick on Bitcoin, guys, don't forget, of course, right now we have majority of the derivative trading going on. Today is the 5th. So guys, make sure you're looking at the stable coins, XRP, and then of course the actual volume. That's going to tell us where the actual market is headed. Just like I said, this month we definitely should stay over, of course, 10,000, but also get a leg up before we have BOP. So guys, make sure we are sticking to the actual fundamentals. They need Bitcoin in order to do the derivative trading. So we'll see the volume. When we see that volume picking up, we know to get in and make our quick money and get out. Now, basically, of course, we have, of course, XRPL. Guys, we know XRPL is going to be used as far as with the bridge asset. A lot of people calling it global currency. It's definitely not. If you do want to call it global currency, that means it's going to be a stable coin. That means it's not going to go over $1. But the fact is that XRPL is definitely going to be used in this scheme that they have going on. Now, of course, the actual Fed right now is going to be deploying new financial measures in September. Guys, it's very, very important that we understand a lot of our stock market crashes and resets happen in September. Why? Because Hebrew calendar is like the new year. So, guys, don't forget about that. Dates, numerology is very, very important. Now, basically, we have the stock market booming over close to 1,000 points. Guys, we know the stock market is rigged. We know all these people are about to work. Right now, what they're doing is trying to pump stimulus to keep, everybody sane without, going crazy and anarchy. But the fact is, guys, if this doesn't prove to you that the game is rigged, something is definitely wrong. Just like I said, you're in the perfect place because the fact is that you can see everything clearly. So that means that the moves you make should be clear. The fact is that stocks are still going up. So guess what that means? That means you should still be making money. You're happy the stock market is rigged because you know, okay, I know the stocks that the New World Order owns. So those are the stocks that I'm going to get into. It just makes sense, guys. So we just have to make sure that we're staying focused on that. The fact is that stocks are still going up. Remember when the stock market went down, I told everybody to buy because we're going to head back up, and I would not be surprised if we hit 30,000. Those who follow this channel know that I said that several times. What's happening? We're headed right back to 30,000. Why? Because this is election year, guys. They have to keep this thing above float. And then 2021, of course, you're going to get your rude awakening towards the end of this year. Now, basically getting into world news, we have Nikola, which is an electric, company, car company, says it's going to be just as big as Amazon. It's definitely going to be big. I don't know about as big as Amazon, but it's definitely going to be big. We have Facebook, FBI, CIA control, so they're going to stop, doing state-controlled media outlet advertisement. But we all know that's FBI and CIA ran. Facebook, FB, Instagram, I, so FBI. So it all ties in together. But guys, don't forget, this is the perfect time to make your money. In crypto, And as we can see the stocks, make sure you're doing your research, getting into these 10K reports, understanding who owns what. So therefore you can move along with their money. Now we had Xbox and PlayStation basically did a silence for 3 hours for George Floyd. Now why did they do that? Of course that's programming the kids. Most of these kids are not racially tied anymore. Like my generation or generation before, this is how they build it in them. So the fact is that they had the Black Lives Matter on the screen for like 3 hours. So it's nothing but programming. Put in that black and white programming. Just like I said, I've done plenty of videos. There is no such thing as black and white. That is just the divide and conquer that they provide. That's all I have for you. Don't forget about the book, Cryptoteacher NWO book. I want to thank those who donated to the Cash App Patreon. Also, the cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, and also the actual stocks. We have Cobalt, banking, gaming, chip stocks. Also, everybody sitting at home, don't forget about those stocks. We have the C word, the biotech stocks, and then of course, all these people out of work, doing nothing. What are they doing? They're drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.